You serious?
So this is How to Kill an Hour. I am Marcus Bronzy. And you are?
Sorry, mate.
Do you know what? Joe's... No, we'll just carry on, because Joe's still shocked from us talking about vibrating penises in the last episode. And I promised Joe we'd keep it as clean as possible in this episode. But bearing in mind, this is How to Kill an Hour, I don't know how clean that's going to be. But we can talk about a gadget that we've been trying out on the show.
Yep.
When I met up with Joe a couple of weeks ago and featured on his yesterday's news podcast, which you should check out on... Where can we find that again?
joeforrester.co.uk/podcast.
Yep, check that out. joeforrester.co.uk/podcast. I had these two things. I gave you one and I had the other, and they're called Lapas. Do you want to let us know what they are, Joe?
Yeah, so the Lapa is essentially, it's like a little, probably 1.5 centimeters across, like a sort of a little square, and it's a Bluetooth device which is meant to help you locate lost things or get to an area you'd like to get to using your phone. So the applications of it are, for example, you can stick it on your keys. That's the obvious one. You can stick it in your wallet. You can leave one in your car if you can't remember where you've parked in a multi-story, something like that. You can put it in your kids' bags or in their coat pocket or something. If you've got small children, you're thinking they're going to wander off in Tesco's or whatever it might be. And it essentially all syncs up with an app on your phone which shows you via GPS and also gives you a reading of how close you are to the particular object you're looking for.
Now, are you a loser of things, Joe? Do you lose a lot of things?
I don't think I really do. I don't have very much. I've just got my standard set. It's just wallet, keys, phone.
Condoms.
Yeah, well, no, they go in the wallet.
Okay, cool.
2, just because I'm ambitious. They've been gathering dust for a while. That's embarrassing. And that, yeah, so you get your wallet and your keys in one pocket, you got your phone in your other pocket. As long as I've got those 3 things, I don't really need much else. And also the problem with a man, and I'm a man who wears tight jeans, is I don't need any sort of extra bulk in my life.
Are you not a fan of the bulky pockets? Because I'm the guy that always has to declutter my wallet because I don't like having full pocket. I feel like it's unsexy.
Well, what I did is I switched from a wallet to a card holder. So right. I sacked off coins altogether because they really bulk out your pocket, and it's just nice and flat now. You've got a few cards in it, and also you get to say I don't carry cash.
Oh, okay, all right. So I was going to say, like, is there ever a situation where you've got coins, like you've had to pay for something with a tenner that costs like $9.99, and you're there with one pence, and you're there with $9.99 a change?
You end up looking like a bit of a bellend quite often because in a lot of car parks they don't take card. So, for example, I went to the hospital recently because I got a bad knee, so I was having like a follow-up scan on me.
You got a bad knee?
I got a bad knee, mate.
What'd you do to your knee?
Well, this is going to sound surprising. I've fractured a bone, the bone that joins like the bottom of the kneecap. I've fractured the top centimetre off of it.
How'd you do that?
Running up the stairs at Waterloo Station.
So just a normal run, no pressure.
You know, like when they say like old people have slipped in the shower, it's the equivalent to that, except I'm 29. I was running upstairs at Waterloo. I've had surgery on this knee before. It's like, and I've got an old football injury. Running upstairs at Waterloo Station, there was a big crack, and I was just like, oh, that hurts. Couldn't really put pressure on it, but it didn't feel too painful. I was just kind of limping a bit. Next day, it sort of seized up, so I went to A&E because I knew I had a bad knee anyway, and they were sort of like, well, you're still walking even though you're limping, but we better scan it anyway. Scanned it and they were like, yeah, it's fractured. So I've now got to have another operation on it. Not allowed to do anything on my legs in the gym for like 6 weeks.
Good thing that you've not got skinny legs then, bruv. Good thing that you don't look like someone who forgets leg day.
Mate, I've been. That's the problem. The old leg day had become my reason to live, and then suddenly, just now for the next 6 to 8 weeks, no more leg day.
Shit.
Devastating.
Go easy on the knees, bruv. You only get one of them on each side, mate. You don't want to be messing those up too much.
NHS will replace them though, mate. So it's fine. do what you like. That's my message.
Yeah, while it's still around, the NHS.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, the Lapa. So in case you forget a piece of your knee when you break it, you can stick it on that. But yeah, so that's what it's designed for. Because I'm Mr. Scatterbrains. I will lose stuff.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Lose everything everywhere. So for me, the application was like quite apparent, and I did find myself using it and trying it out. But what was your experience with it?
Here's my fundamental problem with it, right? I think it definitely works, especially for women, because women have a handbag. So you've automatically got more space to carry things in. So you could have one in your purse. You could have one attached to your phone case. You have one in the handbag itself, one on your keys. It's not going to sort of take up too much more space. My sort of fundamental concern with it, I think, is that you need more than one. So because obviously if it's tracking one thing, then it's just tracking that one thing. So if you want one on your keys, one on your wallet, one on your kids, for example, you're going to need multiple lappers, and that's when it starts to get complicated. I did read a review on Amazon, which I thought was quite interesting, so I wanted to see what other people had thought. A guy called Mr. Vane, who's from America.
Is he a porn star?
That's
a great porn name.
He's got issues, right? Because Mr. Vane said he put it in his daughter's backpack when she was going around the mall.
Yeah,
so that's
mall.
It's American for shopping centre.
Yeah.
I got the impression his daughter didn't know about it, and he said that was really helpful. And he also keeps one in his bag that he keeps all his guns in, because you don't want to lose that.
Fair enough.
I mean, what are you doing with your bag of guns that they might go walkies?
Why'd you have a bag of guns? Guns should be in a safe.
Yeah. What is he? Al Capone? Like, what's he doing?
Flipping hell. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a handbag, but I'm a loser of things, or I lose stuff. Like, there's a setting on this where you can have a safe zone in your house.
Yeah.
Where if you're connected to a certain Wi-Fi, it doesn't actually go off, because if there is a proximity device on the Lapas where if you take a certain amount of steps away from it, it lets you know you're leaving something behind. I didn't turn that on because I'm the sort of guy that will lose my keys in my house.
Yeah.
Even though I've got them. So I didn't really use it for locating things on the other side of London, because I've left them there. It's more of where the fuck did I put my keys? And I kind of like the sort of, when you open the app and it's like, you're getting warmer.
Yeah.
You're getting closer, and it kind of makes a little beep when you're close to it.
That's a good idea, actually. If I was going to stick it anywhere, it'd be on the Sky remote.
Yes.
The amount of my life I spend looking for that. Like, you think, right, I'm going to sit down, I've got my dinner. Yes, I'm going to watch a bit of Big Bang Theory before I go to bed. Oh, for fuck's sake. And you just realise, walking around the house, and then you find it's in the bathroom on the toilet roll holder or something.
In the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that actually, I think that's quite a good application for it. Because when I lose stuff, I'm exactly the same. It's in the house.
Okay, so in short, if you're a loser, this is the thing for you, and it's the Lapa 2 which you tried out. There was a first version of it. If you are not a loser, you're saying, nah, it's not really. It's a bit excess. A bit of excess.
I think it's a bit too much. I think the technology isn't quite as practical as it could be yet.
Okay, cool. I mean, I like it. If it was a little bit smaller as well, obviously I wouldn't complain. I do like the fact that if you press the button on it, there's a secret button on it under the P, and the app's open on your phone. It rings your phone as well, because I do always lose my phone down the couch as well. So yeah, that's the Lapa. Check it out at howtokillanhour.com/blog. There's also links to this in the show description. Also, the battery for it lasts a year. It's waterproof and
shock resistant. Yeah.
So yeah, Joe will be putting it on his condoms from now on.
On my vibrating penis.
Your vibrating penis. Also played this game called Sniper Elite, actually, which is a game which is it's just about shooting fucking heads, mate. If I'm honest, it's a great game. It's got a great story on it, like, because it's you might like it because it's actually quite history. Quite in the realms of history, yeah. But to be fair, it's a sniper game which is all about doing these slow-mo headshots where you see a skull disintegrate as you take shots. Yeah, I've been messing around with that. But
that's
I've not
concerning.
been playing it. What?
I mean, in the sense that, like, I don't buy into this whole thing. You know, there's this thing sort of in the mid to late 90s and early noughties. They sort of said, hip-hop music and computer games are responsible for school violence. And you thought, well, no, not really. People have been killing each other for years and years. But, I mean, one of the arguments was stuff like GTA. People become kind of desensitized to extreme violence. And I always thought, well, not really, because I'm a man in England sitting on my sofa controlling a guy in Brooklyn. I mean, I got that it wasn't... But I suppose when you're deep in a game where you're exploding people's brains with a sniper rifle...
Do you know what? It sounds so wrong, but it feels so good.
Yeah.
This is why I think they're on Sniper Elite 4. And to be fair, I don't really play the game for the story. It's all about the X-ray kill cam, mate. If you do a headshot from afar, or you hit like a box of explosives, you get to see people blowing up. And the only thing I don't like doing in the game is the testicle shots, because I don't like shooting other men in the testicles in any way, in real life or in a game. But yeah, that's another game I've been trying out, Sniper Elite 4. Check out more of that at howtokillanhour.com/blog. Anyway, there's a new app for dating, Joe.
Yes, at last.
It is February, the month of Valentine's, and it doesn't just focus on swiping, looking, and going from there. It takes the icebreaking to a whole new level.
Right.
It requires you, it's mandatory in fact, for you to communicate with your potential match with a phone call. That's right.
Oh,
It's called Hotline. You think about it, bro.
that made me.
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you're about to ring someone you like, you've never spoken to them on the phone before, you feel a bit sick. I got a little bit of that then.
This throws you straight in. So Hotline, it requires you to have a 5-minute call with somebody using a voice over internet protocol, like Skype. It basically Skypes them. So the premise of the app is you see someone, you like them, they like you back, and then you have a phone call. Like I thought, fucking hell, bruv, that's weird.
That's intense. What are you opening with?
Hey. Yeah, you'd have to practice your sexy voice.
Well, because on Tinder and Bumble and whatever and other apps are available, you can just go hi, and they go hi, and then you've got time to formulate another response. If on the phone someone says hi, and you sit for 2-3 hours and don't say anything back, you look like a nutcase and you've lost them. So you need something decent to say, but you also don't want to be a cheeseball.
So your game needs to be tight.
Yeah,
you need good game.
Yeah.
How would you open?
I think you've got to know something about it. You've got to read a little bit about their profile. I mean, but you're always going to sound mental. No matter. So if they go, for example, like, weirdly, my love going out, going to the gym, seeing friends, and going to Polish restaurants. So if you're like, oh, hi, it's Joe from the app. Are you having a little bit of Polish sausage? Then you sound like a weirdo. But I'm trying to make it personal.
Or you could go in aggressive, like, yes, go. You've got 5 minutes. Flip it on them. Talk to me.
Like that.
And they just go, Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a minute to think about it, and just play the countdown music in the background.
Yeah, you could Alan Sugar 'em. Yeah, just like literally, it's down to you. Look, love, I've got phone calls backing up.
Yeah. Or there's potential for it to get sexy real quick though. You get me? Like, you could be like, hello, I'm down for good times. You've got a sexy voice. Do you want to hook up tonight? Nope. Cool, move on.
I'd feel too uncomfortable. I'm too English with stuff like that. I find it uncomfortable. I don't like sex texting at all.
You don't like sexting?
Sexting is the kids are calling it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm never ever gonna send anyone a picture of my penis. I just can't bear the embarrassment of like that's just to me that's just an odd like alien looking thing. Like, and I'm just not too good. Like, I can never be like, oh, you're wearing a sexy pair of knickers. I wouldn't know where to start. See what I mean? I'm crap at it. So,
you know, like Scary Movie, the first film. It's this parody of scary movies. It's old school now. There's someone in there that can't do the sex talk, but when they open the gates, they go fucking crazy. Oh shit on these walls, Ray. Do you think that might be you? Do you think you're holding back, and then once the doors open up, that's it? You're just crazy Joe.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. Once you let me loose, there's no stopping me. I mean. I suppose it's quite a good idea in the sense that when you just text back and forth, what I don't like about Tinder and Bumble and stuff is I think I do my best work face to face.
Okay, you're a classic man.
Well, I'm quite chatty and I'm quite interested in people and I'm quite confident. So I'm quite good at talking to people. Like, say if I meet a girl, I feel perfectly comfortable having a chat with her. Whereas via text, because it gives me a little bit too much thinking time and it kind of removes the aspects of my personality that I'm better at interacting with people face to face. I overthink it. So I think, does this sound like a cool, witty thing to say that makes it sound like I'm a bit aloof, but also kind of sexy and interesting? And then I just sound like an absolute dork.
Okay. I don't know. I think with every approach, there's a positive and a negative effect. Like, obviously, the thing we're talking about now is a phone call. So we've kind of said it's going to be hard, but there must be a positive in you being able to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like you can pick out the weird. Am I wrong? Is it harder to pretend you're not weird if you're a weirdo, or find out whether your weird matches their weird?
Well, I think you're because also stuff you say on text and stuff has no subtlety. So you might say something that you think is quite funny, or like me, I talk about nerdy shit like Star Wars and stuff all the time, and that might, like, via text you think, what a gimp, but face to face you might think, he's being ironic, sort of. It gives you that option as well. I mean, it's going to make you less swipe happy, because if you're thinking, fucking hell, I might end up talking to, you're sort of not going to be like, go on then. Like, and so you're going to really be selective over your swiping, and I think that's probably quite a good thing. Yeah,
they've also made this a paid app as well. It's $9 a month, only available in New York. You can download it here in the UK, but it's only the service only works in New York. So you got to pay a little bit as well. And I think that kind of makes people think about where they're swiping as well. Because if it's free, people are just like swipe. But you can't do that because you have to talk to the person if they match you for it to go any further. I reckon they should penalise you for not having a conversation that lasts for 5 minutes as well.
Yeah, I think the people who download it are automatically going to be self-confident, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it could go. I mean, you could get on the phone, like you said, knock out some great banter.
Yeah.
It could get you to the date a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people, because we had our producer Billy, who's not here today, he's at a Drake concert.
Obviously.
And you know what? His Tinder profile recently was, I've got a spare ticket for Drake if you want to go and see it. And we had a dating expert on the show a few episodes back called James Priest. If you go to howtokillanhour.com /blog and just type in James, you'll find that episode.
Yeah.
Or dating. And he said to Billy that he spends too long messaging. He's like, why are you babysitting? And within 5 or 6 messages, asked to go out. Because that whole stage is just like, what's the point? If they're not interested, they're not going to be interested. If they are, they are. So this could kind of get you to the date. It could get you to the date on a Friday. You could do the call on a Friday and be like, where are you at?
And also, if you don't know someone personally, the problem with all the messaging is you could be the most fun, interesting person in the world. You could have Stephen Fry and Nicole Scherzinger's body on the other end of the phone. You're going to sound boring via messaging because you don't know each other well enough, so you don't know what things interest you. You don't know what buttons to press. I think he's right. Like, obviously he's a dating expert, of course he's right. But if you go 5, 6 messages, sod it, let's go down Weatherspoons and share a jug of Pimm's.
Just said a lot about you, Joe. Weatherspoons and a jug of Pimm's.
Yeah.
Wait, one second. You go gym and you said you don't send nudies.
No.
But you go, you spend all that time manscaping, chiseling your body. You just like, it's not good enough to send online.
No,
you got to get the real deal.
I've done topless. I've done topless. I've done the topless photos, right? But the thing is, like, I personally, you know, like dick pics, right? I've got mates who send dick pics. Absolutely no shame. Thing about the male penis, right, is it just looks odd. It's an odd looking creature anyway, and equally, I don't really want to get a photo of a vagina out of context, because if you've got a vagina and you can't see the rest of the woman, then
what does it mean?
It looks like a strange sort of tropical underwater plant, and your penis looks like an angry thing that would come up through the paving in your garden.
Yeah, I think if you just get a picture of a vagina
on its own
out of nowhere and you haven't seen anything else, my first thought isn't, oh, that's nice, is what the fuck are you hiding? What are you hiding from me?
Yeah.
What is there to see that you were trying to distract me with your vag?
But you know, like, that's that out of context, and also I just think, like I say, I'm too, like, in a lot of my ways, I'm sort of quite English and just kind of like stuck and uptight and things, and it's like I'll never, for example, I remember going on holiday like when I was like 21, 22. And we met these girls and they're like, oh, let's go skinny dipping. I was like, absolutely not. I'm an Englishman.
You fucking what? You said no. Where were they from?
They're from up north.
Fuck's sake, Joe.
I was in, don't get me wrong, I was in the sea and the trunks came off.
Okay.
But I don't feel hugely comfortable. Like, I'm not that uninhibited. Like, you know, some people are just like, yeah, go on, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll send you a photo of my cock. Some people are sort of like very like live and let live. And I'm just much more like, well, this doesn't seem right at all. What are we doing?
Oh, man. I'm still upset that you might have, but I'm glad that you came back from that and said that you did go skinny dipping. And I'm like, you were invited, and you refused. If you
meet a bunch of primary school teachers from Rochdale, as if you're not straight in the med, catching pink eye with everyone else.
Yeah, so that's this app, man. I mean, would you? Are you dating at the moment? Are you a single man?
I'm single.
Single. Would you like say this was launched in the UK and it would work? Would you give it a crack for a laugh?
Yeah. Well, I'm like to say, Marcus, I'm actively looking. So
okay. So you're Tinderizing at the moment.
More bumbling.
You're bumbling.
I feel like I'm gone a bit more upmarket.
What's the difference?
From what I understand, Bumble is designed so that the woman has to initiate the conversation, and the reason this is to stop random blokes bombarding them with dick pics and filth. So a lot of guys apparently on Tinder would just match a girl and just send absolute filth to any girl they matched, which I don't really understand. It's sort of missing the point. It's like, so you're passing up the chance to meet and talk to a genuine woman by sending her a picture of your knob. I don't really get that. But Bumble kind of takes the option out of that, and also you have to talk to them within 24 hours, so it doesn't leave those people sitting matched in your little hive.
Right. Yeah, how you finding it?
It's good. It's good. What you get with Bumble is you get a lot fewer matches than you do on Tinder.
Right.
But the people you match on Bumble tend to be, firstly, from a completely shallow point of view, more attractive, and secondly, more interesting. I think it's got sort of a higher quality threshold than Tinder necessarily. And I mean that for both sexes. Like, I'm sure like girls are just thinking, oh, there's so many weird blokes on Tinder.
So Tinder's like the after party after the club that stays open till 6, and Bumble's like the wine bar that you go to.
That's nice.
Early on a Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And ask for a Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, and ask for a Pinot Grigio, but really you're desperate to get into B at 1 for happy hour.
yeah. Like, how much?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. All right, cool. All right. We'll leave sex and dating behind just before we get out of here.
Oh.
Prostitutes are launching a version of Uber. No, joking. No. Uber though, they're launching something called Uber Hire. So Uber already, you can get anything from a very cheap hybrid car coming to your door to a massive big old Mercedes. I don't know what they're called. Vapianos, whatever.
Yeah.
Coming to your door, and that can take you and your mates out. You can get a fancy car, but that's always been a single trip.
Mm-hmm.
Car gets you, drops you off. Sometimes you can do a ride share or stuff like that. But now Uber is launching Uber Hire, kicking off in New Delhi and other parts of India as well, which actually, to be fair, those are very good places to test this sort of stuff out, because they're busy places, and Uber can get a lot of data from it. And it's a service where you can rent a car and a driver for up to a day. Or even more than a day, actually, apparently. So yeah, you literally swipe across the Uber app and select Hire, and you can have a minimum fare of 2 hours actually, and 30 kilometers worth of travel, and from then on it's a flat fee for every minute or kilometer afterwards, with a limit of 12 hours actually.
That's good fun. I like that as an idea. So when like your driver Keith is arriving, you get to build a real bond with Keith. That
is great. That's ballership as well. Can I just say, if you really want to impress somebody, you've met them on Bumble.
Yeah.
Okay. You could plan a day out in London, and Keith, for example, Keith, your driver, picks her up at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Comes past yours, takes you for a little tour of London. Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Uber dates.
This is a good idea. I like it. And it's presumably because everybody wants to live the limousine lifestyle, getting driven around and living like a celebrity. So it's a chance to do that, but on the cheap. On an
Uber price, yeah. You know what you're paying as well. You could even map it out. So, fucking hell, I've got to go around here, check out the sights of London. That's going to be that many kilometres.
Yeah.
It cost that much.
Steady and on also, Keith, not the eye.
Yeah. Let's leave the eye for today, Keith. And then also afterwards, drop off your date, pick up another one. Keep it moving, Keith.
Yes, me and Keith just in some horrible, smelly sex wagon together. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I want that to come to the UK. I'll try that out. So yeah, would you be up for that? You'd have to go?
Yeah, what, with you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Me and you.
How to Kill an Hour live from the back of Keith's Uber
with Marcus and Joe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, desperately.
Wonder how much cleanup costs. The cleanup costs will be amazing. We'll have to make a down payment straight away.
Just the tears, mate.
Just for the tears. Champagne and baby oil, baby, all over the place. No, but thank you very much for joining us on this run of episodes, Joe. Once again, it's yesterday's news of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's joeforrester.co.uk/podcast.
That's it.
That's where you can find it. It's a great show. I just like the fact that, and I know it sounds really shallow, but I just like the fact that somebody who's like young and relatable can talk about history, because I think that's sometimes the reason why people think something shit or boring is because it's the wrong people talking about it or doing it. It's like talk radio. I used to hate, and I come from radio, and it wasn't until I realised that it's just because I wasn't listening to the radio that I liked that actually I was like, oh, actually talk radio's alright. That's why I love podcasts, for example, because there's so much stuff out there that I love hearing people talk about. And until I was, experienced podcasts, I was like, nah, I don't really know about talk.
Well, I've got to say, mate, you do exactly the same thing. Like, because I spoke to you about this before. Technology, it was traditionally the preserve of experts and people who are quite geeky and not necessarily the best broadcasters in the world. And you've made it much more fun and more accessible.
basically Joe's just said is gadgets and tech used to be covered by people who knew what they were talking about, but now it's covered by people who don't know what they're talking about, but we kind of blend it very well.
Anybody do it these days, yeah.
We bask in our ignorance. That's how we get along with things that are out to get out. No, but thanks very much, Joe, man, and you're more than welcome to come back on the show. You just tell us when, and we will line up all of the sexually related posts and conversations that we can.
Do you reckon we could do one? Like, could we get through one sex-free episode?
No.
Even with Uber, I turned it into just a walking sex palace.
It turned into a kind of, what was that porn thing called? Was it sex? What, the van? There was the bang bus.
Bang bus.
It turned into bang bus. There you go, pretending like I don't know what it's like. I was like, what was that one again? But yeah, shout out to the Brazzers crew on that note. But yeah, there's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. He's been Joe Forrester.
He's been Marcus Bronte.